Rewatching Season 1. Some thoughts on Episode 8. 1. Lifting the Veil. Two identities are revealed in this episode. We learn that Halbrand is Sauron, and that the stranger is one of the Istari. Nori knows intuitively that the stranger has come to Middle-earth to help, and while she does not have a precise understanding of what it means, we are led to conclude that he has been sent by the Valar to counteract Sauron's evil. The mystics promise the stranger that the veil which prevents him from remembering his past will soon weaken. Halbrand/Sauron uses a similar metaphor when he says that what he and Celebrimbor are doing in the Forge softens the boundaries between the seen and the unseen world. It is interesting that when Celebrimbor uses Sauron's phrases "power of the unseen world" and "power over flesh," he believes that they are his own. When I first watched the episode, I thought that this was just Brimby's vanity, that he lied about it and claimed those were his ideas because he didn't want to admit he learned them from a human. But now, I think that at this point Celebrimbor is already bewitched, and that Sauron has implanted these phrases into his mind. In Season 1, Celebrimbor is not one of the characters through whose point of view we follow the story, so we don't get an insight into his inner world. But the scenes with Galadriel show us what it looks like when Sauron messes with somebody's head. He can create an intricate illusion, make a person believe they are somewhere else or at another point in time, and assume the visage of a loved one, as in the scene where he makes Galadriel believe that she is talking to Finrod. We can only conjecture what is happening in Celebrimbor's mind, but I believe that from this point onward, his actions and thoughts are no longer his own. 2. True creation requires sacrifice. This is a phrase first used by Celebrimbor in Episode 2, and he repeats it now in order to convince Galadriel to surrender Finrod's dagger and allow it to be melted, so that its silver and gold can combine with Mithril. Symbolically, it means that Galadriel needs to sacrifice her urge for vengeance, and work instead for the well-being of all Middle-earth. The dagger has been a part of her storyline from the very beginning, when Finrod used it to lift the soaked paper boat in Valinor. In Galadriel's hands, it represented her obsessive need to hunt down and destroy Sauron. But ironically, it was also a means which Sauron used to get an insight into her past and manipulate her. That she is ready to give it up now is a clear sign of personal growth. Elrond will likewise make a symbolical sacrifice by adding the piece of Mithril, for him a token of Durin's friendship, into the mixture. It may appear that at this point Celebrimbor makes no sacrifice, but we know that in Season 2 his own life will be sacrificed by Anatar in the process of making or obtaining the rings. 3. The road which every man must walk. Two leaders die in this episode: Tar Palantir, the king of Númenor, and Sadok, the trail finder of Harfoots. It is interesting that the two communities use similar metaphors when talking about death. Pharazôn speaks about the road which makes an end of every man who walks it, whereas Sadok announces that he will be wandering off trail. However, in spite of this apparent similarity, their views on death are rather different. We know that Númenóreans will become obsessed with death, mortality, and finding the means to transcend it, which eventually leads to their downfall. In Lord of the Rings, there is also a great speech delivered by Faramir, where he describes this obsession, which the rulers of Gondor have also retained. Death was ever present, because the Númenóreans still hungered after endless life unchanging. Kings made tombs more splendid than houses of the living, and counted old names in the rolls of their descent dearer than the names of sons. Childless lords sat in aged halls, musing on heraldry. In secret chambers, withered men compounded strong elixirs, or in high cold towers asked questions of the stars. In the Harfoot community, there is a much healthier attitude to death and the transience of one's existence. Sadok is mourned and lovingly remembered, but there is no obsession. A new trail finder is established and the caravan moves on. If the Harfoots even think about immortality, they find it in their ability to love.